Alright, so let's jump into this problem. What is the perimeter of an equilateral triangle inscribed in a circle with circumference to be 24 pi? Alright, so here we have a circle with a equilateral triangle within the circle. Now, what I'm going to simply do here, I'm going to bisect these angles. Now, if this is equilateral, I know that the sum of angles within the triangle is 180 degrees. So if it's equilateral, I know that all three angles within this triangle are going to be 60. So I can put 60 here, 60 there, and then this is going to be 60 as well. Now if I bisect each of these angles, I'm going to create some smaller triangles. So this right here is going to be a right angle. If I bisect this as well, this right here is going to be a right angle. And let me use a different color to kind of illustrate the last one. If I bisect this right here, perfect bisect right here, this is going to also form a right angle. Now this is going to be my center, be in that situation if I'm bisecting those angles. So these angles right here are going to be 30, and this right here going to actually be 60, and this angle right here, as we can see, is going to be 90. So that's if we bisect each of these angles, and by bisecting each angle is going to be meeting in the center right here from each bisect. Now if I have that being the case, now what I've realized, I can figure out what the radius is. I can figure out what this is, and to figure out what the radius is, what I'm simply going to do is do the circumference. I know the circumference, as a quick recall, going to simply be 2 pi r, and they told us that that is equal to 24 pi. So if that's 24 pi, that's going to be 24 pi, which is 2 pi r. Divide both sides by 2 pi real quick, and if I divide both sides by 2 pi, my radius is simply going to be 2 into 24, going to simply be 12. So my radius here going to be 12. Now if my radius is 12, I can use now a special triangle trick. I can use now my 30, 60, 90 triangle. I notice the angle that is facing the 30 must be x. I notice my hypotenuse is going to be 2x, and I notice the angle facing 60 going to be x square root of 3. So what I'm going to do here, my 30 here is facing this side. So if my 30 is facing this side, I know then if my hypotenuse is 12, the side facing 30 simply must be equal to 6. And then also, if the side that's facing my 30 is 6, the side facing my 60 going to simply be 6 square root of 3. Now, the beautiful thing about this, in terms of bisecting each side and bisecting each angle, I notice then this here simply must be 6 square root of 3 as well. And if that is 6 square root of 3, I notice here, because this is a equilateral triangle, all of this would pretty much be the same. So one side would be 2 times 6 square root of 3, which is simply going to be 12 square root of 3. And if one side is 12 square root of 3, I know that all these other smaller triangles within this particular equilateral triangle pretty much must be the same. So I know that this, that going to be the same. So all I simply need to do, since it's going to be 3 sides within the triangle, I just need to multiply this by 3. So this is going to be 3 times 12 square root of 3, and that's simply going to be 36 square root of 3. So my answer is C.